One more time, Gene.
Please stand by.
Love it. All right. Looks like we're live there. And what's up, Anas? Good to see you.
Good to see you, Robert.
Let's
Hello, hello, sir.
on this computer here. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is my favorite day of the week. What day is it? It's Monday, of course. Hopefully, I don't come through the screen with too much energy. I'm absolutely motivated, pumped up, all those other kind of words that you can talk about when you're like at this high vibrational state. Started off my morning and found a song, and I just can't let it go. You guys ever have that? Like you get a song and you're just like, oh, you want to wear it out. I'm that guy. So I'm wearing out this song today, and it's very motivating. And we talk about a lot of things here. What's the purpose of why we're here? Is to share like ideas and thoughts and viewpoints from experienced network marketers for people that might be watching there at home that are looking at potentially going from their job to maybe doing a little bit of network marketing or working from home or affiliate marketing or network marketing itself, right? So we come to you live every Monday, 12 Eastern Standard Time. For those of you watching, if you'd like to join us live on the Zoom, you can always go to thelosttransition.com/live. That's thelosttransition.com/live. Hello, Vicky. Pleasure to see you popping in. So we do this every Monday, and part of what we like to do to start off the conversation is to hear from those of you in the audience and hear your wins. What's going on in the network marketing world for you? We love to celebrate your successes, and then we have a talking point that we're gonna kind of discuss. We give you thoughts again, thoughts and my viewpoints as well, potentially some gold nuggets, as I like to say it. So I would, maybe have a pen and paper so you don't miss anything. But this is week 7 of our show, if you want to call it that. And we've been doing this actually for close to 3 years now. We just had not been broadcasting it on YouTube. So I decided, well, hey, it's a new year. Let's get the word out a little bit more, get more people involved, potentially help more people, right? Because I know that for myself, when I came into the network marketing world, I thought it was going to be pretty easy. And then I found out the real truth to network marketing, right? So I think that we should take that stance and be able to kind of teach people the right way. But this is week 7. We're going to talk today about leveraging technology to stand out in a saturated market. So it should be very entertaining for everybody, like it always is. But before we get started, anybody got any wins that they want to share from last week? Love to hear your wins. Go ahead and raise your hand. Go ahead, Vicky. Let us know
I'm
what.
excited. That's why I'm late to the call. I just got
Okay,
another sign up. So I've had like
nice.
7 sign-ups over the weekend, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do. It's ridiculous. So
What
yeah,
are they
I'm
signing
loving
up
it.
for?
The 2K profit system.
Nice, right on.
I know. So
Are
awesome.
you,
So
are you
awesome.
making commissions off of those signups?
Yes. Slowly but surely. Yep. So far,
So,
so good. I haven't
so
got
you're
to the two
telling me.
thousand dollar one yet, but I'm working on it.
So
It
you're
takes
telling
time,
me.
like you said, to
So
get
you've
to
had.
the.
So you've had 7 signups just over the weekend.
Yes. I've been hopping all weekend long. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to do first. And I took time and stayed up and did some more of my work on my pages. So, because I've got to get this done. I mean, I'm to the point where I need it to be done and out there and usable and helping me be more organized with everything. So, but it helped me. I'm telling you, it helped me having the nav site, and it gave me Facebook and LinkedIn. That has made all the difference in the
Love
world.
it.
High
Oh my
five.
God, I love it. High
High five.
five, girl. I love it, love it, love it. Oh man,
So,
that's amazing. Congratulations, girl.
I know.
Man, I
Yeah.
can't wait. I can't wait to hear what's next, man. So proud of you. So proud of you. That's what I'm talking about right there. Gene, go ahead.
Congratulations, Vicky. Well, I got to see my daughter for the first time in over a year because I'm stuck at home all the time. She lives 35 miles away and we just don't connect. It was her birthday Saturday, so I got to go see her. And of course, I brought back a bunch of, she'd been holding totes of mine that we used to share a storage unit together. So digging through the old totes, finding some old stuff on some CDs that I forgot about. I wish I could find more stuff on some of these old hard drives, but they're all just garbage. But I did find a a CD that had some of my old music I used to like to listen to back in the 90s. One particular album of bands that probably didn't make it, but it was all on there and it's such a good. So I found that, like, oh my God, you know. Um, I did go ahead and bite the bullet, and I'm now part of Got Backup with Robert. So looking forward to start working that. I've got 4 prospects in my nav ready to reach out to today on that. Either technical or I know they're not in a financial place to do other things that I do. So and I got to look at it that way. And just got some things rock and rolling, real excited, and see what I can tear up and break. And
Dude, that's awesome and amazing. And so first off, thank you for your trust and I look forward to working with you. I think that we're gonna have some fun with that, obviously. To hear that you've got already people that you're looking at talking to is even more amazing to me. That makes me feel really good because when it comes to teamwork, man, you can't do it alone. So those of you watching, like it's very important to find people that resonate with you that you can work together so that you guys can collectively, raise at the same time, right?
Mhm.
Um, so thank you, Gene. I appreciate that shout out. I wasn't expecting that. Great to have you on the team.
And also I got my artwork done. I used Meta AI to make the superhero. Literally just said, make me a generic superhero, and Meta AI did that. Then I'm using Canva for that. So be launching my Facebook page later this week and
Sweet.
pushing that out.
I love that. We're going to talk a little bit about that anyway today. So that's great that you mentioned that, right? We're going to talk about some of the different technologies and stuff that we can do.
And by the
Um,
way, you're a little bit lower than everybody else again. The
check,
mic may
check.
need to be closer to you.
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to talk about that stuff too. So I appreciate you bringing that up, brother. Any other wins? I know we got some more wins. Anyone? Anyone? Hi, Curtis, by the way. Appreciate you popping in. No? Keisha? What you got going on?
I actually put together a new email campaign to push the social leads for our now site. So I'm launching that later on today.
Nice. And also, I don't know if you guys have seen, but Tuesday, tomorrow, there's supposed to be some big news coming out.
Oh no, I did not see that.
Yeah, so stay tuned. As soon as I find out about it, I'll be posting on my Facebook page something or passing it around. I don't recall what time it is, but I'm waiting for all the facts and details. Um,
Oh, so they're not doing it on the how to at the
no,
4 o'clock?
no, not that I'm aware of. It's like earlier than that, so
Ooh.
I don't want to spread rumors. So once I
Yeah.
get once I
No,
get the
I'm
information,
gonna
I'll
go after
definitely
that
get
email
back to
because
you.
I know they would have sent me one. So I'm just gonna check myself.
No, well, see, the way it happened actually is I was thrown into a chat and I wasn't real happy about being thrown into the chat. I just left the chat without like seeing what was going on, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
If you guys know me, like that's the last thing you want to do is just throw me in somewhere and not say, "Hey, we're adding you here for this reason," unless
Hmm.
it's like in an interest of time, like you added me in the middle of the night, and you know what I mean. There are
Hmm.
exceptions to the rule, but anyway, we'll get the information and we'll share it with everybody that we can. But for me, that the wins for me, one was Gene coming on board. The other thing too, right, is I'm looking forward at. I don't know if you guys are really exploring these possibilities. I'm not much of a mobile marketer, and Gene and I had kind of talked a little bit about that the other day. But looking at the app on my phone, I'm interested in digging into it more this week. Just, excuse me, just going through the contacts that I've downloaded already. And just with a simple perspective of saying, hey, you're my contact book. Do we know each other? Like, how can we connect? How can we help each other out? Just a food for thought for those of you guys that are in Nowsite and you've downloaded your contacts. Go through those contacts on your phone because I noticed it seems like it's a little bit easier to get back and forth when it comes to prospecting stuff. Like you could go right into those contacts and just click right on them, see them, go into social media and all that fun stuff. Again, all from your cell phone from the app. So I think that that's pretty neat. Beyond that, I did with the whole got backup thing. For those of you guys that know about this, I started with got backup roughly about a year and a half ago, and they changed their comp plan to make it better. And when they changed that comp plan, a lot of people like myself actually lost some rank. So thanks to Gene joining, I got one of my ranks back, and I'm looking to work with one or two of my downlines. And all we need is a couple more people strategically placed, and then I'll be able to get one of my other ranks back, and then six more people, and I'll be able to get to the rank that I'm trying to get to, which is Sapphire. And then at Sapphire, that's really where you start seeing um, a few more of the profits. But again, this is not, we don't want to make any income disclaimers on this show at all. It takes a little bit of work, but when you talk about work, like I always say, it's not like you're out there digging ditches or anything like that. Realistically, everything that we're talking about here on this show or even in general with network marketing is nothing more than having a conversation with people about a specific product that could make their lives better. The way that I've always said it for many years too, that I stole from a friend of mine was, how about getting paid for something that you already do right now? Right? We all go, we have a good experience at a restaurant. We go have a good movie. We go and we tell our friends, but do we get paid for it? Typically, no, right? That's the beauty of network marketing and affiliate marketing is that you can do those things, refer other people that need your products, and actually earn an income. So we love that around here. Gene, go ahead.
I was just going to add about you talking about going to your contacts in your phone and
Yeah.
where do we know each other? That's how a lot of those scams start. Robert, you and I were chatting about scams. A lot of those scams start with "You're on my phone. Who is this?" or "Bobby, do you want lunch today?" And of course you're not Bobby or whatever. So you got to figure out creative ways when you're reaching out to these people that may not be their phone number one, or you don't know whose phone number it is. You got to find creative ways to get them to want to engage back without sounding like other scammers because they're getting the same type of texts and calls. That's where you can use AI and use Nav or whatever your ChatGPT, whatever you're using, and sit there and tell the story. A lot of scams start with this and that. I've got contacts I'm reaching out to, may not be their phone number anymore, but I still want them to engage. Give me some ideas on how to approach them without sounding like these scammers and see what you get back. And that might be some good ideas to approach people with.
Absolutely. Great point and great tip. For me, what comes to mind while you were talking about that too is that's why we also talk about having a good brand or branding behind yourself. Like for me, I might say, "Hey, this is the Blakester. You're my phone." If they say the Blakester, who the hell's that? Like, well, you don't know? Let's talk. Here's my Calendly. Either way, right? My main purpose of what I'm saying, yes, obviously, be careful what you're saying or how you're saying it, which is what we talk about too when it comes to communication and conversation, right? But the point is to ultimately just to open up that dialogue, right? Start that conversation, build the relationship, that kind of fun stuff. Keisha, go ahead.
Sure. So to that end, I actually created a now site landing page
Oh,
that's
nice.
that has my face on it, that says I have your contact in my phone. I want to make sure that we're still, you know what I'm saying, this number still belongs to who I thought it was.
I love that.
Um, Feel free to write, and there's a little section in there. I use the buttons that you get in now site that you can build your own form. And I said,
Mhm.
tell me how we met. You know what I'm saying? Or
Very
tell me
good.
how we know each other. I'm just updating my contacts. And it actually worked pretty good.
I love that. I love that. That's
But and I
exactly
sent
what
it
we're
out
talking
with my picture, with my correct contact information. So if you already had me in my phone and you knew who I was, then fine. If you didn't, then you either didn't respond. I actually even got a few people that decided, I don't know you, but I'd like to.
There you go. Like I was just saying, right? Be like, hey, call me. Right?
So,
Stop, girl.
I love that. So
Good
it worked
job.
really well. It was actually a suggestion from someone else, but it worked out pretty well.
Good, good. Good to hear that. We can all take note of that, right? And utilize that stuff. Anybody else got any other positive feedback and goodies that they had happen, some wins?
Well, I was gonna ask, Keisha, could
Sure.
you drop your link in here so we can see exactly what you've got it set up for that?
Which link where?
The
Oh,
one
her?
about the contacts, where the landing
Oh,
page.
Keisha. Got you, got you. Got you, got you. Yeah.
You're
You're
muted, Keisha.
muted, Keisha. Okay.
I could give me a second. Let me get to it.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Cool. Anybody else? Any wins? Go once. Curtis, how you doing over there, brother?
I'm gonna throw Curtis under the bus. He's afraid of now site. He
Uh,
has it. He's just afraid of it.
don't be scared, brother. Don't be scared.
And working. Not not scared. It's just time to apply the knowledge.
Right on.
Like
Right on.
if it's something I have to actually learn how to do, I'm in school right now. I'm working leadership. I'm just working. I'm working jobs. I'm just pulled in a lot of different directions. And
I
as
hear you.
much as I want to believe this is gonna be that tool that's gonna help me revolutionize my business, it's like it's still something I have to learn how to do.
Sure, sure, certainly. No, and I can definitely appreciate that, man. I appreciate you being here. If anything, hopefully we can gain some clarity or help you gain some clarity and some focus on those different things. I can tell you that myself, I'm not running in so many directions anymore using NowSite, but I'm pretty sure that you're dealing with more of a hands-on approach, right? Or being out there in the public, which is better for you because you get to talk to more people while you're out and about. But yeah, definitely take some time for yourself so you learn the technology and how you can utilize it to your advantage. That's perfect topic that we're going to be talking about today anyway, right? So with that being said, I'd like to go ahead and segue into what I want to talk about today, which is the topic of the day, week 7, leveraging technology to stand out in a saturated market. Because in essence, that's what we're talking about. You know, last week I did a post and it was something about it's not about going viral, it's about standing out. I don't know if you guys saw that post or not. If you did, raise your hand. And it got me to thinking because really it's really not about that. There's so many people that are out there looking for that virality, right? Or what's that key? What's your secret sauce to going viral? Or you even have those other people that are selling courses now. Here's how you go viral. It's only $7 or $17. And who's the one really going viral? Who's the one really making money? Person probably selling the course, right? So you also see a lot of people that are out there talking about don't buy another course, right? Which I can agree to some of those things. You know, we talk a lot about that and how dysfunctional the network marketing industry really is and why it's important for those of us that are going through this journey to gather up together in groups like this of people that are on the same journey that actually know what they're talking about and we can all go there together, right? Versus you trying to go there all alone because that just doesn't work. I can tell you from experience that you're never going to make it as a network marketer if you choose to be just your own little show and do things yourself without, any interaction from a crowd or being part of a crowd or being part of a team is the best word to talk about. And it doesn't matter, just like all of us that are gathered here, we're all in our different respective businesses, right? We're all doing different things, but we can all come together to help support each other, whether that's just through basic social media strategies or even being there as a sounding board or ideas or even like these Monday masterminds, right? The biggest reason that I put this together, as I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, was to, bring people together to help give those tips, tricks, and tips to be able to help others be able to transition from that 9 to 5 into working from home, right? Being your own boss. That's really what it's about. Really, it's about time freedom, right? So if there's a lot of things that are going on in our life, obviously, there's this word balance that always comes to mind, from my experience and just the journey that I've been on. So we have to have some kind of balance, but ultimately we're talking about leveraging technology because there's also people that are in my age gap or higher, and I'm 55 going on 27, by the way. But many people are afraid of that technology, right? And there's so many different technologies that are out there, especially even when we're talking about artificial intelligence, which is the biggest grandioso thing that's out right now. They're equating artificial intelligence to be as big as the birth of the internet. Remember, if you were around back then, there was the internet is going to be a passing fad. Right, right. Artificial intelligence is out there. It's not going anywhere. So it's very important that we do what we can to at least understand the technology and then utilize it where we can and be smart about it, right? There's plenty of tools out there. We jokingly like to say with love, use the tool, don't be the tool. But there's things for us to think about when it comes to standing out within that saturated market. And those are the things that we talk about all the time, which go back to a lot of the sales psychology that you hear me talk about. So we'll talk about some terms and definitions here. Number one is personal branding, right? For those of you know how important personal branding is. But for those that don't or that are watching out on YouTube land or wherever they're watching this at, it's just simply the practice of marketing people and their careers as a brand. And what do you mean by that, Robert? I mean, you want to promote yourself. We talk about this all the time. Promoting yourself before you promote any business or any product, simply because people buy from people, right? They're presented an opportunity and based off of the relationship and how well that person transfers emotion onto one person to the other is whether or not they're going to buy what it is that you're talking to them about. Obviously, there's a lot more things that are involved. Your approach is very important. I believe we talked about that on our Saturday team coaching, right? Everything matters from somebody that's coming from a door to door experience, explaining to you guys, everything mattered from the moment we stepped out of the vehicle, stepped onto the street to work, the streets that we were going to work, everything mattered. From the pace that we walked, from the outfits that we wore, how we looked, right? The equipment that we even had, like a notebook, right? All of those things mattered. The way that we canvassed the area, all of it mattered. The way we stood in the door, when we actually looked at the customer in the eye, all of those things mattered. So when it comes to personal branding, we have to develop such a brand and a demeanor about ourselves that coincides with that brand so that we can market ourselves. We talked briefly, right? I said, the Blakester, that's my brand. Most people that know me as the Blakester. Where did that come from? That came from my military experience. Actually, it came from one of my NCOs. Right? True story. I was one of those people, still am, to where I knew what people were gonna ask me. Like a lot of times, somebody can come and approach me, and I already know what the conversation is gonna be. I just have that foresight, if you will. And a lot of my NCOs would obviously tell me things that needed to get done, and I would immediately go get them done. So I was known as a make shit happen soldier. So whenever they would come to me, they would get ready to ask me if I had done something. I would stop them in mid-sentence. Maybe that's where my interruptions sometimes come from. And I would tell them, done. What's my name? Done. What's my name? And in the military, we have our last name over our left chest here. So my last name was Blakely, and I would underline my name. Right? And one day, one of my NCOs said, I know, it's the Blakester. And that's it. It stuck with me, which is part of my personal branding. Now, if I go out and you go talk to people that I've known for 15 to 20 years that are in the network marketing profession that know my brand, they will have nothing but good things to say about it, right? And if you find somebody saying something bad about me, let me know because I need to fix that. But personal branding is really important. The second thing to talk about is content marketing itself. So I've mentioned this before, right? Direct marketing, telemarketing, internet marketing, they're all different forms of marketing, right? They can all be utilized to help in general in marketing, right? Because now you're attacking these different avenues of marketing, if you will. But content marketing is great because that coincides with social media marketing, right? Or marketing on social media. And even that has to be done properly, or you're not going to get any results. Content marketing, though, when we come to terms and definitions, it's just a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience, right? There's three key words in there that I want to kind of point out again. Number one is valuable. Second was relevant. Third was consistent. But see, that's the problem because many of us, unfortunately, don't have the consistency that we need before we finally see something peak, grow, or happen. And I'll tell you why I say this because, again, from my experience, most people give up within the first 30 days, technically within the first 2 weeks, which is why you hear me talk about pre-qualifying people and asking them after you've connected them with their vision where they're at on a scale of 1 to 10. If they don't say 10 and they're not connected to their vision, to their dream, and don't see what you're showing them as the vehicle to get there, they will quit within the first 2 weeks, right? So content marketing is appropriately important, but we need to consider those things, right? Those are really, really important things to consider. Third thing to mention is social media algorithms. Oh, if you know me well enough, you know that I have a love-hate relationship with Facebook, right? And Facebook back in the day used to be really, really good. It was a place where you could go, you'd find your friends, and you'd post something out there and people would see it, right? Now, there is an algorithm that's out there that we all battle every single day, which I can understand coming from a business perspective, right? If you go look at social media for what it is, we are the product, right? On social media, we are the product. So, that being said, there's algorithms that we had to think about. One of those algorithms is something that I talk about, which is simple give to get technique. If you want people to see what's out there or what you're posting, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to take some time and you're going to have to like, love, and leave comments. That's part of the social media algorithm that you need to pay attention to. Fourth thing to talk about is artificial intelligence, though. And within marketing, it's a beautiful thing. And those of us that are on this call know about NowSite, then obviously we know the beauty of having that type of tool or technology, because that's what it is, especially when it comes to marketing, right? I could sit here and I could tell you that again from my experience, one of the biggest things that we've been teaching is two things that we got to get really good at, and that's asking questions and telling stories. And I'm pretty decent when it comes to asking questions and telling stories. But artificial intelligence just makes it that much easier for me, right? It could take my idea and just make it that much better. So that's some type of leveraging that we can use that technology for all the other things that we're talking about. Social media algorithms to help work with those, to help with your content marketing, to help with your personal branding. Fifth thing that I want to talk about and that we need to look at is engagement rate, right? So that's just the metric. You hear me talk about metrics and data. It's important for you to pay attention to what the data is telling you. It's just a metric that measures the level of engagement that a piece of created content is receiving from an audience. So that means how many likes did that particular post get? How many comments did it get? That's one beautiful thing about Facebook is that it gives you that breakdown, right? So now you can look at that data and you can say, oh, okay, well, people tend to like this kind of post. Maybe I should do more of those types of posts, right? But it's important for us to pay attention to that engagement rate so that we know that we're posting things that are, again, relevant and, you know, actually makes sense for people to even be engaging with the content. If I go and I ask a question to my audience and my audience has to think about it, odds are they're not going to have too much engagement in it. But if I put a post out there and come across with a statement that people can understand or people can relate to, and ultimately I want them to, in the back of their head, say, oh, he's right or she's right, right? Whoever's doing the post, that's the best way to do that so that you get some kind of engagement. But remember, we've talked about this many times before too. There's a difference between a close-ended question and an open-ended question. Closed-ended question is simply designed to get a yes or a no. Open-ended question, you can get any kind of answer, right? Which is the same to be true and said about sales psychology when we're talking about opening and closing doors in conversations and also within the mind. So engagement rate is something that we need to pay attention to, right? Now, we have tons and tons of different things. I just actually, was on a meeting earlier about 2 hours ago with some other leaders, and I found out about some other thing. I don't know if you guys have heard of this perplexity. Have you guys heard of that? Have you heard about this? Have you seen this yet?
Yeah, I've been killing it. I've
Yeah.
been literally using Perplexity and DeepSeek up
Well,
against
and I was
ChatGPT.
told to be careful with DeepSeek. This is from
I'm not
some
giving it
big,
any information that I need to be worried about. The
well,
information that I'm asking for is so generic and so.
regardless, what I'm trying to explain to you is what the pros are telling me is to not do DeepSeek because it says even in there, anything that you do within there or have the conversation, it
Mhm.
all is property of DeepSeek. Just so you know.
Mhm.
The point that I'm making is I didn't really know about this, but again, hanging out in team environments with other leaders, learning what's going on out there, and understanding how to leverage that technology, I just found out about it. But then I was told, okay, well, just ask it what are the top five things that you should be aware of, and it'll give you a breakdown, which I thought was cool. So I went, all right, well, tell me the top five things going on with sales psychology. And as I went through this, it was kind of cool. Number one, AI driven personalization. Well, we're already there. Right? Two, value based selling. We already talked about that because of the psychology of things. Three, building authentic connections. Well, gee, look at there. Right? Number four, emotional engagement. Number five was trust building through transparency. Like, so my point is that I didn't learn anything new from perplexity because these are all the things that, that that are just part of my industry, right? Part of my niche. Not saying it's not a good tool or you shouldn't go discover it, but I say this too because jokingly, but on the real side of things, I don't really go out there and explore a lot of these different artificial intelligent things because of what I have with NowSci. I feel like that boyfriend cheating on his girlfriend when I go look and use like Chat GPT or anything like that, because I know we have a Chat GPT line. The other thing to mention that I'm really excited about that, if you're not doing it or using it, try it out. I find that I'll go and put my own words into my AI, tell it exactly what I want, and then I take that and I put it into my AI avatar and I get an even better response, right? So the point that I'm making is that there's a lot of technology that's out there. We have to just leverage that technology, right? We talk about the importance of personal branding, how it works. Content, though, is king. That's really what it comes down to. But then I would have to ask if you guys have all been on day 5 of the boot camp so that you know what content to actually be posting. So, Anas, hint, hint, not to throw you under the bus, I want you to watch that day 5. If you guys haven't seen it, watch it because within day 5 we talk about the content creation kind of formula, and we work in formulas here is the best way that I like to say it. And if you're following that formula, you'll see the difference in the people that you're approaching or even the people that are liking your content. But if you're out there and you're just constantly business, 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 you're going to turn people off, right? You're going to turn people off. So, you got to think about that 80-20% rule. 80% should be value. And I'm telling you guys this, word is my bond, and agree, hopefully, in the chat or out loud. I personally love living vicariously through other people. I love if Gene's going to Italy, man. I can't go to Italy at the moment. I want to see those pictures, right? I want to see that the family's doing good. I want to see that you had lobster on a boat. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things that are going to resonate with people, not, oh, my life sucks. Not saying that anybody in here does that because obviously we know better than that, right? But share those good moments. Another thing, just to mention off the top of my head, that the universe is telling me to say is what we talked about before is sharing your stories, guys. Like, you get off of one of these meetings, if you learn something, then share that story. I can't stress this enough. I don't think that some of y'all are sharing your stories enough. And even when you share them, you got to remember to share them again because if you're out there doing what we're supposed to and you're adding new people to your circle, then those are new people that don't know your story yet, right? As an example, I had one of my friends that I've known for a little while. I did that video, and if you guys haven't seen it, it was a reel that I put out this morning with that song that got me motivated this morning. And he jokingly said, "Oh, I didn't know. Yeah, you're a singer now." I jokingly said, "Oh, I thought you knew." And I went to YouTube and I pulled out a video that I had on YouTube that's over 14 years old of me dressed up as Elton John singing in front of 1,500 people on a cruise ship, right? So yeah, that's crazy, Rob. I'll do fun stuff like that, right? But no, he hasn't seen it. Been up there. So my point is that sometimes you're going to recycle some of that content too, right? So I know another buddy of mine, Rodney, uh, the owner of Social Prospector Pro, he went as far as, and I've seen other people do it, to take the content and put it into a spreadsheet. There's another idea for you. What's really working on your page, take that, put it into a spreadsheet, and then you can go back and draw from that at a later date and time. I know personally from the top of my head, what's coming to my mind is the memories on Facebook. I kind of like those because now it goes back, oh, there, what did I say a year ago? And then look at those results and then maybe even post it again and see what the difference in those results were. I can tell you all from just my experience, again, I can't speak on anybody else's behalf, but 4 years ago, I lost my Facebook page. Over 15 years, lost all my memories, everything myself and a bunch of my friends did. And it was a blessing and a curse only because I was able to go back and now regrow my audience, which is something we talk about. You have to gather your audience, right? But I was able to do it better because of what I had learned, because of what I knew. I had almost 5,000 friends, but not all of those were in the network marketing profession, right? So not all of them cared about what I posted. And I would be lucky if I would get 10 likes. 10 likes. So that at one point was my gauge. And now that's a gauge that I have now. Right? I know that if I don't see, I know if I get 10 likes within an hour, then boom, it's going to be a really good post. And we can expect maybe 50 to 60, sometimes 100, depending on what that content is. Right? But again, we need to think about what's the content, not that we want to post, but what's going to be valuable to our audience, those people that are watching, right? Another thing to mention that's popping up in my head to tell everybody is one of the other things that I learned from one of my mentors, among many things, was he put it to me like this. He said, y'all need to have your own special sauce. Almost like Big Mac, right? Like McDonald's, they got the Big Mac and they got their special sauce. That's what makes that burger better, right? That's what makes that burger that burger. Now, mind you, I don't eat at McDonald's. I haven't for many years, but I'm not gonna chastise you for doing it. McDonald's was one of my first jobs I ever did. Anyway, um, just a funny little thought in my head there. So that being said, I got a couple questions so that we can round out this conversation. And this is open for the panel here. Okay. Gene, you kind of mentioned, so if you want to, re-spark up that conversation, by all means. But the question is this: how can we use technology to enhance our personal branding efforts in network marketing? Gene, this is perfect for what we were talking about at the beginning of the show.
Well, yeah, leveraging as much free stuff that's out there. There's lots of stuff that's free. And the Meta AI, like I said, I made the superhero, and then I use now my partner Lisa. We partnered in New Life and other things. She pays for the Canva, but Canva has a free version and has lots of good stuff in it. And to make this, I wanted my lettering to be as gold as possible. So I went to my avatar on my team and said, okay, I've got this, I've got that, I got this, I got that. Oh, there's Lisa. I'm going to turn her down. And I said, I need to make this gold. And it kept giving me color hex codes, but it wasn't gold enough. And then it said, well, do a gradient. Well, there's no gradient option in Canvas. So I said, okay, well, let me do, can I do layers? Yes. Here's 3 hex codes to do layers. I said, what about transparencies in these? And it said, well, do this one transparent, this one transparent. And that's what I got now that's actually 3 layers of letters. And one of them is outlined and everything. So yeah, but there's so much free stuff out there to use, to utilize. And if you go through Instagram or Facebook, there's these people that promote some of these free things, or they have a free option for stuff. They're not, there's a guy that talks to himself. I don't know if you've seen the videos that it's an angle of him sitting this way, an angle of him sitting this way, like he's talking to himself. And the guy's like, aren't these illegal to share? But a lot of those links I go to, Lisa, stop. A lot of those links I go to
should be in here.
Now I can't hear you. I can turn it. But a lot of these links I go to, there's a free option to use some of these tools. So, but Definitely do that. And if I can add one more thing real quick about engagement is I'm learning engagement is king also, and getting your people to start seeing you more. I've got my friend Michelle, Robert, you see Michelle comment on a lot of my stuff.
Yeah.
That started by me commenting on her things, me stealing what she posted, put it in make it my own, a memo, and then turn around and uh tag her in it. Thanks for the inspiration of this, Michelle.
Nice.
So then she would like that. Now she's getting notifications when I post things, and because we're engaging back and forth and commenting on each other, I'm getting notifications when she posts things.
Nice. And that's the
So
algorithm part of things that we were talking about, right?
yeah,
I just want to
exactly.
cut in real quick to you, Gene, because you mentioned tagging, and it's funny because that was a topic also this morning, and it bled in from Friday. Those of you that are watching out there, be very careful about how you're
Mm-hmm.
tagging. You don't need to go out there and post something out there and then go try to tag 100 of your friends. You're
No.
just going to piss people off. As Gene mentioned, he did it eloquently. He did it the right way. Thank you for the inspiration. And then he tagged that person. But this has been something that I think that we definitely need to touch base on. I know those of us that know better. But those of you that are out there watching and you're tagging 100 people, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Stop it. Cut it out,
So,
man. Just stop it. Go ahead, Gene. Sorry.
well, what I told Michelle the other day is I said, see how we're seeing each other's posts more and we're able to engage more. So
Oh,
now go find that person that might be a prospect that you
exactly.
don't see their stuff. Start doing the exact same thing.
Exactly.
Start
Yeah.
commenting on their stuff. Start, if you do borrow from them, give them credit for it and tag them. And then all of a sudden they're starting seeing more of your stuff and they're commenting on your stuff. Now you're building that relationship with someone you don't even know just over commenting back and forth.
Yeah, and that's
So,
the give to get, the
mhm,
reciprocity that you might hear me talk about.
yep.
You have to give to get. And when you give, don't expect anything in return. Just give, right?
Mhm,
I don't know, this might sound cheesy, but this is something that I learned many years ago. And I talk about this on day one of our boot camp because look, all of us, I'm gonna say all of us lightly come into this type of business with the wrong attitude, the wrong demeanor, the wrong mindset altogether. Can everybody agree and with
mhm,
me on that? Like,
mhm,
because we're doing it for a reason. Most of that reason is, oh, we got to make money or we're trying to make a difference in our lives. When really the money doesn't start happening until we truly understand that it's all about solving other people's problems, right? It's all about becoming that humble servant leader that you hear us talk about, being that person or that leader that people actually want to follow. But part of that has to come from you having the results, right? Having the knowledge as well, but the results. The reason that I'm coming to mind with saying that is because I know some people that I see out there, and man, they got so much talent, so much potential, but then they're misrepresenting their brand because they're what my friends would say, putting the cart before the horse, right? So I guess the quickest example that I can think of is somebody out there calling themselves a coach when they've never really coached, right? That to me goes back to the thought of leading the blind. But we all had to start somewhere, right? We all had to start somewhere. So why not use technology, the things that we're talking about, to give you a leg up, right? Especially if you're not that good at marketing, use the tools that are going to help you be better at marketing. That's kind of my point where I was going with that. So beyond that, I do have another question or two that I'd like to ask. So let's talk about and ask, what are some effective strategies for creating content that cuts through the noise on social media? Like I know you talked about Canva and stuff. One thing that I want to just kind of mention that I thought was cool, maybe we could call it a win, but I was able to go live on TikTok today. Like, what? I thought that I had to have 1,000 followers. I've been on TikTok since before it was TikTok. It was Musically, And I had been all this time for what, however many years, trying to get 500 followers and never could. Tried different content, using Opus clips mostly, taking these Monday masterminds and I was chopping them up, putting them up there. But really, about it this morning, I was like, man, why not just go back to what it was? I love this song. I'm gonna go on TikTok and use it for what it was originally intended for, which was just a lip syncing app that you could just have fun and act a fool. Then I thought many times to myself, well, I know why my TikTok isn't blowing up because I'm not doing all these silly dances. Stuff, right, is what I thought. So this morning I did the thing, did a little, going back to the past, did a little music video, and I loved it. And there's already close to 100 views on it so far today. It's only out there for a couple of hours. Point that I'm making in that, and even on my social media on the reels, I've got over 10 likes within that hour. But the point that I'm making is I'm circling back around to what I was talking about. It's not about going viral, it's about standing out. So because I hadn't normally done that, and I took the time to do it, and it was, I found a cool frame. It was the old comic book frame. If you guys haven't seen it, just go on my Facebook. You'll see what I'm talking about. I love the way it came out. I think it was great, and people are talking about it, right? Again, that's part of just opening up the dialogue, right? That's just opening up the dialogue. So that's part of using what we're talking about, leveraging technology so that we can, again, stand out in a saturated market. You heard Gene talk about taking the post from his friend and putting it into Mimo to make it my own, right? Is what Mimo stands for. So take the technology that you see, utilize it, use it to stand out in a saturated market. That's, I guess, the ultimate reason that we had this conversation today, the moral of the story, if you will, right? Anybody got any final parting words? Get some value out of this, I trust. You guys got some parting words? Any thoughts, comments, suggestions? Go ahead, unmute.
Okay. One thing on the tagging that I have learned is that you shouldn't use the tagging of following or followers or highlights. Like keep it to like once a week or something, but don't overdo it. Make sure when you use it, it's a good post that you're
And technically,
utilizing it on.
and technically, you can only
That's
use
my
that
2 cents.
once a day as well,
Right.
right? So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, great
So
tip.
yes, I've learned that it's not good to do that. And it can be misleading on these videos too. Because, you recommended do not post these to your Facebook. But the thing is that people are actually going there and watching them. They're not commenting, they're not saying 2 words, so it doesn't look like they're getting activity, but I'm hearing and they've gone there and
Sure.
watched the video and it's given me results.
Yeah,
So,
I just wanna clarify. I never said not to do that. I said it's just not in your best interest
right,
because you're sharing it from somebody else's page, and that went back to what Facebook algorithms are. But here's the truth though, you sharing it and then going back to what is the word? Consistency, right?
right.
You've
hmm
been consistently sharing them, so now it's
hmm
getting noticed, and now people are going and watching it. Now they're coming back to you, which is great.
Well, actually,
Good.
people will just like fast forward to my part and listen to my part. And to me, that's kind of cool. I
That's
think
all
that's kind of
right.
cool.
Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing else. I just want to hear Vicky. What she got to say? I
Yeah.
love it.
And then it's
Congratulations.
cool to get feedback too from people because I'm
Absolutely.
still learning. I'm by far not perfect. I got a lot miles to go. And so it's cool to me to get some the constructive criticism or even a couple of pokes, So but it's really good. It's good for me. So
I love it.
I
I love
appreciate
it.
it.
I love it, and we love seeing your growth, girl. Keep on shining, my friend. Keep on shining. Gene, what you got, brother?
Two more things. Number one, I had done some research and the at followers is once per day. At highlight is 3 times per week.
3 times.
So you got to
Okay, that's
really,
good. That's good to know exact rules.
yeah.
Okay.
And at everyone seems to only work in groups, Facebook groups.
Right,
So
right.
that still doesn't show to everyone, and it still doesn't show to all the followers. It just may show. So the other thing I wanted to share is you were talking about sharing stories, Robert, is
Yeah.
last week, the week before, I shared two stories that were unrelated to business, helping some of my friends out and them messing up with the question and the answer that caused out of 7,000 people, about 30% were men, supposed to be in a women's only group. So we got that handled. We figured out we'll just ban all the men that joined and actually accept the invite. So I shared that story though, tried to make that funny, and then I shared another story last week about yogurt because 2 times in 2 years I've gotten extra thing from grocery store, and it was yogurt instead of a T-bone steak. So I
I
kind of
saw
made
that
something
one.
funny about it.
Yeah, I saw
So
that one.
share those little stories that you got, like Robert said, it has nothing to do with business,
Yep.
just something. And then one last thing Vicky made me think of just now is when you do share something, maybe put in there, hey, comment with 1 to 5, scale of 1 to 5, what you think of this video.
There
You're
you go.
asking for their feedback on something, or asking another question where they almost have to answer. You need better lighting, and then even misspelling things. I love how Cheryl Coco talks about misspell things on purpose. It just stands out, it gets people's
Mm-hmm.
attention. You know?
I've heard
So
that
I
too a
forget to do
few
that
times.
sometimes, but,
Mm.
but
Go.
I
There
have to also share that, I do a lot of email marketing and I have for a long, long time. Okay. And in all this journey of email marketing, I've had a lot of undeliverables. Okay. But I have never had a live person come to me and say, quit sending mail, take me off of text. And I had that happen, and I'm like, I had to laugh. I mean, and not even nice. I mean, she wasn't even nice about it. I'm like, wow. So, I mean, I like bit the bullet on that one because that would have been a terrible person to work with. That's for sure. So it's like, wow.
What? No unsubscribe button or what?
No, it has. I have unsubscribe buttons and everything. So I just like thought that was crazy, but it was
Well,
okay. I just took her off
delete,
the list.
delete. There you go.
But she
Next.
tried to deny that she filled out an opt-in form. I mean, what was she drunk when she filled it out? Because she don't remember that she filled it out.
It could
Come on.
happen. It could
Yep, could
happen.
happen. Yeah,
Woo! I
yeah.
want to make money
I
on
wasn't gonna
it.
argue with it, but it was funny because it's never happened to me before in all these years. It was pretty funny.
Love it, love it. Hey, there's a first time for everything. I'm glad you experienced it so that you can talk about it. There you go. There's your story. Go share that story, right? I wanna give you all a mission since we're talking about it. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, Mr. and Mrs. Phelps, is to go tell a story like right now when you get off of here. Tell some kind of story. Tell your story. And let's hope that next week we all have lots of excitement and at least one new sign up into our business that we can share. Sound good? Sound like a plan? Only one person. That's all we're looking for. You don't have to be an overachiever like Vicky.
Oh, I'm not
No,
overachiever.
Vicky,
Yeah, yeah.
keep it up, girl. Keep bringing in 7 a day or more. That'll be great to see. Love each and every one of you
Yeah.
guys. Go out there, kick ass, take names. We'll see you on the next one. Gene.
I'm just fixing to copy
Oh, I
the.
gotta save the transcript. Hang on,
Yep,
don't
I'm
close it.
copying the stuff real
don't
quick.
don't close it yet. Yeah.
I'm using
Everybody
that
good?
AI tool.
Everyone good?
Hmm.
All right. Go out there, kick ass, take names, and we'll see you guys next Monday. Toot toot. Love you, bye.